Hey, Yithian. Thanks for showing up. How are you doing? I'm good. I don't know how long ago your question was because I was so into the inking part of all of this that I forgot to look at the chat. Oh, nice. I haven't played Baldur's Gate in actually, I think all week. Man, oh man. So I think I don't have like anything new to share about like stuff. Baldur's Gate stuff. I've been doing a gouache course and it's kind of like taking up, you know, my free time in the evenings, and once I get done with that then I have like half an hour left before I want to like go upstairs and go to bed, so I don't really start up the whole game anymore. How far in are you now? Just running around talking to everybody, doing all the quests. That part I can still talk about. I've like gotten to, you know, like the upper city, just about, and I've never, I haven't like gone past that. That's kind of like when I stopped playing. I will finish it, but I just haven't gotten to it. Tripping over new quests. So I'm gonna be like making some eating noises this stream because I'm like hungry all the time, so I'm constantly eating. So I hope you don't mind. I myself hate it. I hate listening to people eat. I have self-diagnosed, what's it called? Misophonia? I don't know if I actually have misophonia, but it definitely feels like a lot of it fits with the way I respond to sound sometimes. What I can tip you on, though, have you watched Blue Eye Samurai yet? On Netflix, if you have Netflix. The pitch is like, so it's set in like the Edo period of Japan where no foreigners were allowed to come in, and it's like Kill Bill, basically. But with the added, you know, with the added twist of it being like set in feudal Japan, and it's so good. Like and it's an animated show, by the way. So we went to Japan back in May, and this show has been like it's been so fun to watch just because you recognize and understand like so many more of the little cultural references of like how the people, like behave, like these little rituals they have, the food they eat, it's like, oh yeah, that's typical Japanese and that's what they would have had back then and stuff, and it's so cool. I don't think they had like a big I'm actually not sure. I hadn't heard of it either before it like came up on my Netflix as like recommended. But apparently like some big names worked on it. Like, of course I forget her name now. Oh, what's she called? Maybe it's in my likes. Oh, there we go. Abigail Larson. Do you know her work? This is her. Media. There we go. This is like all kinds of stuff she's done for Blue Eye Samurai. But this is like her normal work. Yeah, it's really cool. It's like, oh man, I really hope that they renew it for a second season. Really, really, really hope. I think I'll just like watch it again. That's how nice and nostalgic it was for me. How long is your queue? It's probably been getting longer with spending every waking moment on Baldur's Gate instead of watching any Netflix. No comment. I have like this issue where I don't really like to start new stuff. Like if I love a book or a series or a Netflix series or whatever, I just don't want it to end, and I don't want to start anything new just because I'm like, this could not possibly, the next thing could not possibly be as good as the thing I just finished, Thankfully, usually it turns out I'm wrong, but Alan Wake 2? What's that? Oh my gosh. That sounds like a really cool story, but nothing for me. I I can like I can like handle horror if it's like um I don't know, Stranger Things or something, but I cannot do, I don't know, Cabin in the Woods or that kind of stuff. It just freaks me out. Oh gosh, yep, then you're a fan. I don't know, man. I just can't. Like, I think horrors. I think, like, things like ghosts and stuff are really interesting as a concept, but whenever it's like an actual horror story, I just freak myself out whenever I turn the lights off. I'm kind of like Travis in that sense. Travis Willingham from, like, Critical Role. I never thought that that would be the thing that I have in common with like a guy like that. One more page after this, and then I'm like ink or coloring and shading everything again. And then like the next batch of pages should be finished, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, it's like popular, you know. I mean, I get that horror is popular just because it's like really, I get that it's super interesting, but I tried to watch, actually, I watched, what's the one with the poltergeist, where you never like actually see a ghost, and it's like shot as if Paranormal Activity. That's the one. And I think I watched like one. How many are there nowadays? 4. I think I watched the first one because it was like when I was still in my first year of college, and I watched it on like super tiny screen, like on my second monitor in like the, you know, school office, I guess, where we were, you know, I was just working on the game that we were working on back then, and I watched it like that day with everybody, and I could not, seriously, I could not sleep for 3 days. I just, eventually, I called up my then boyfriend, now husband, and said, like, I'm coming to sleep at yours, because I am just scaring myself shitless every night. So I went over to his place to sleep, and I freaked myself out because I was like, hold on, this movie happens to, like, 2, you know, like a couple, so I'm like, I'm still not safe. Man. I hated myself for watching that movie. Back then, like, I think before that, I think it was Cabin in the Woods. Is that the one where they have a cabin in the woods, and then, like, there's something in the water which, like, makes them all lose their skin or something? Spoiler alert, people. Anyway, that one. I think it's pretty famous or something. So we watched that because it was suddenly fun to, like, do movie nights with everybody when I was in high school. And I was like, okay, I gotta get more into like horror because that's what people like. And after watching Paranormal Activity, I was just like, you know what? This is just not for me. I cannot do this. I cannot. But yeah, I do love the, just like Halloween vibes, Oh no. Why do you still watch those movies? Why do you like it so much? Even if it like affects your sleep and stuff. You freak yourself out. I mean, you and a lot of others, you are not the only person that um, loves horror. Anyway, and so to get back to your questions about like a preference for like sketching, lighting, coloring, and stuff, I think I just I think I like the doing one or the other every once in a while. So like, I think I discovered like 5 pages is like the batch that I can do at one time, and then I get kind of like sick of that stage of, like making the comic. So then I can move on to the next thing, and then after I go through the whole cycle again, I'm like excited about the next thing. Going back to like scripting, storyboarding, penciling, whatever again. So. No huge preference for anything, I'd say. Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's the same kind of reason why I kind of like freelancing and then like having multiple projects at a time. Just also because, well, exactly, because it keeps things fresh. You can work on like 2 different things throughout the week, and kind of like if you're sick of the one, then you can like work on the other for a while, or and honestly, I also get like a lot of good ideas once I've been away from like a page or whatever for a while. So I can just like see some ways to improve stuff. So yeah, I would definitely say I'm not, some people are like really good at being like super specialist and like I don't get like being a comic page colorist or whatever. Or I mean, I get it, but it would not make me happy just because it's like too much of the same thing. And I would go a little crazy, I think. Flatting and lettering, those are 2 things about the comic that I would gladly give to someone else. I would not be hesitant about hiring someone else to do that for me as soon as they can. Oh, right. So gouache, it's a water-based paint, but I think the big difference between like gouache and acrylics, which is also water-based paint, is that acrylics goes kind of like plasticky when it dries, and gouache goes very matte, and it reactivates. So if you like spill water onto a gouache painting, you basically smudge the painting. I'm not sure how long that takes, as in like if there's like a certain point after which that will not happen anymore, but basically the pigments reactivate, and yeah, that makes it like really interesting to work with, as in because it's like water based, it's pretty quick. So I've been doing oils, but it's been really interesting to like see, you know, how quickly you need to work in gouache versus oils. But then you can also like come back to it later, reactivate stuff, and then work on it some more. So that's kind of nice. We're actually like, I think we're in like week 4 of 8 or something. And that's actually like the thing that we're doing right now is like, so our first, hold on, I can probably show you, hold on. 2 seconds, let me find the thing that I did. The first thing that we had to do was create a painting, but like only with like flat colors. So for example, the, you know, like, I don't know, like cell shading in animation movies or something, that might be like gouache. Mary Blair, who worked on gosh, oh, my brain is not working. Cinderella, there we go, did a lot of concept art in gouache. Or who else got, there's, well, I mean, a lot of like 50s flat stuff was also done in gouache, I think. So this is like the painting I did in the first week. Which was basically about like consistency. Thanks. I don't I don't like it that much, but wait, you know. So you can like see all these kinds of like dimples here, and basically like the aim was to have like something like super flat like this, you know, and not see like any of the brush strokes. Hey, thanks, antagonist. Have a good day. So yeah, you have all these brush strokes here and stuff. And so what we're doing now is like putting water onto like the orange again, for example, reactivating it, and then painting it like with shading, with like not just like the light and dark, but actually having like a transition there and like a core shadow and that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's what we're doing right now. I have to be honest, not my favorite way of doing this stuff, because we also did like rocks, which I really liked. Oh wait, this was my second attempt, by the way. I like this one more. I don't know. There's something about like the colors or something that just work better. And then, hold on, let me show you my rocks. Doot. I actually like had a lot of fun with these. That's one rock. Hold on, where's my screen? Here we go. I like this one a lot. And so the aim here was to like, so this was like saturated paper, which meant that, I soaked this paper before I started working it. I soaked it in water for like, I think like 10 minutes. which you can do because it's cotton paper instead of like, tree paper. And then so that's what saturated means, and then activated is like slightly drier. And this is just like dry paper, and then working on top of it. Does going to have a lot of like volume? No, I would say it gets really flat very easily if you add enough water. My issue, like a lot of people's issues, is not having enough paint in the. It's kind of weird how our teacher Justin Donaldson, he keeps saying like more paint, and more paint doesn't even mean less water. It just means like more paint, which basically means you need like more pigment to be on the paper. Thanks, by the way, for the compliment on the moss. But yeah, it really lies very flat. It's definitely not as three-dimensional as like oils can be or whatever. Yeah, there's like it's more on like how the water pools that you can like start to see edges and stuff. But it definitely like dries very flat. And this has like a more oil painterly quality to it just because of like all the brush strokes and stuff, but still it lays very flat. And this is what happens if you don't have enough paint in your mix. Then it starts to like break. But yeah, it's really interesting to like play around with like the the effects that you get with like that wetness, and then going over it again when it's dry and stuff. So it's been really fun. Yeah, it's also like this like traditionally October, November is traditionally like a really super busy period for me. Just because somehow a lot of commissions seem to come in at this point. But there's also like Christmas coming up. And then we also have that thing here called Sinterklaas, which is like a kid's holiday, but like certain families, like if they really like Sinterklaas, they just keep doing it even though everyone's an adult. And it means you make like you do like a Secret Santa for everybody, but then you also make like a poem for everybody, and also like a surprise, so like a prop for the poem that you're writing for them. And then usually within our family it's like kind of like a reflection on what the year's been like, so I don't know. I think like for my stepmom at one point it was like all my brother and sister, they were like 8 and 10 years younger than me, and they had recently gone to college, which also meant they moved out, so they were like kind of empty nesters. So my sister made like a little lantern with birds that had like flown the coop. And so the poem was about that, that's kind of like how it goes. So, but you do that, and it's like a super busy period. And now I like added a gouache course on top. So yeah. It's probably wasn't the smartest idea for me to like start a gouache course right now, but I was so excited about it that I just like jumped the opportunity when it turned out that like the course was starting like 2 weeks or something, or 3 weeks after I got interested in actually doing it. Yeah, somehow it just like it always happens. November like October, November are so busy always. How about you? Are things like slowing down for you guys, or um, are things ramping up for you as well at work? Oh gosh, yeah. Bouncing around takes a lot of energy. Okay, my computer is telling me to take a break, so I'm gonna do that for like a couple minutes, and then I'll be right back. All right. Back to work. So are these like new responsibilities, Yithian, or is it just like a lot to juggle right now? Working on a big project. Then part of my job is to balance between engineering work and non-call support of the run. It's just all right. Oh yeah, to deal with that. I forget what term you use, but yeah, that end user thing that you're transitioning to. So are you like hitting your deadline with the 6 months project? With the big project? Right. Oh gosh, okay. So it's so it's gotta be chaos for a while longer. Oof. So do you also have like a lot of features being added like on the fly? We used to call that feature creep. Where you like start with the scope of a project and then it turns out to be like way bigger than you intended. So it's like, well, it's gonna take a bit longer. It's like, why? Well, you changed the scope, so now it's like from a $10,000 project, it went to a $10 million project, so it's gonna take a bit longer. Oof. Man, that's rough. I imagine that, like, bug fixing all the time isn't... Actually, I don't know. Is bug fixing fun? Is it more fun than, like, developing a new feature? I don't find it fun. I get incredibly frustrated by, like, bug fixing, but that's me. Hey, Eric. Well, first of all, welcome. I mean, I also find it very satisfying to figure out what's causing a problem and then make it go away, but until you get there. Honestly, Rick, I have no idea how I kept my enthusiasm for the comic. I think it's mostly just because so I think I've started at least 3, maybe 4 comics before this. Let's see, hold on. One was about horses when I was like 9. One was about, well, a black-haired kid, same as like Nergui right now, but she was like in the army, and it was like such a poor choice because I know nothing about the army, so it's like, why the hell am I like making a comic about someone who's like supposed to be in the army? But you know, that was like, I don't know, 12-year-old me. Then I did like a fantasy comic. That was like, I think I got like 3 pages in with that one before I quit. Also at 13, by the way. Lost Race Mission, I think I actually did like 100 pages. I think I did like a lot of pages for that one. That's the one with the army thing. But I think the main difference was, and I think I had like maybe 2/3 of a synopsis written for that one. And I think the big difference with this one is that I finished the script, which makes me want to see it through, which also makes it a lot easier to focus on the end goal, which is like telling the story. I know what story I'm telling, compared to just like drawing pages and not knowing where it's going. And I think this comic is like a lot closer to me. It deals with like a lot of themes that I find very important. And yeah, I basically want to tell the story. And I guess that's also why this comic is like way more my baby instead of a lot of other things. Look at this epic music while I'm like making my statement. How fitting is this? Anyway, Anyway, I hope you could hear the music, because otherwise my statement was like for nothing. But it does, it like, it's not like I love working on the comic more than life itself, you know, kind of like that stuff. It's just that I really want to tell the story, and I actually thought of like, I wrote it as a animated movie, like a Pixar movie at one point. And the reason I'm mostly doing it as a graphic novel is just because I don't animate. I don't have an animation team. If somebody were to say to me like, hey, I have a team for you, I would love to make you like the art director or the creative director or the director. Sorry, let me say this. I would love to make you the director of this animated feature, and I would love to make this movie, then I would totally say yes. Because this is definitely mostly about the story that I want to tell. How do you keep your enthusiasm, Rick, for your project? So you've been working on that one for a long time as well, I think. Like competing commission projects or personal projects? Oh, another thing I should say, by the way, in terms of like, I feel like the Patreon also makes me feel very responsible for the project. Like, you know, there's people actually like paying for me to work on this, and you know, it's not like I'm paying bills with it by any means, but still, like they're contributing a little piece every month for me to like work on this, and I promised them something new every week in return. So I feel, you know, responsible to like work on this and keep working on it. And it's not like I would keep working on this even if I didn't want to, because it's still like a passion project. But I do feel like having the patrons keeps me like setting aside a little bit of time for it every week, instead of, like you're saying, like prioritizing other stuff. Oh, man, I'm like, so that's the stupid thing. Like, stupid thing. I'm so much more into like graphic novels instead of comics, except for like some European comics. So I am totally out of the loop about like any X-Men comics, any American comics, by the way, or I don't know what I was trying to say. I'm totally out of the loop about comics. That's what I was trying to say. Is the RPG adventure module, is it like, does it fit into like D&D or Pathfinder or, I don't know, some other RPG? Or is it like a standalone RPG? Oh god, I like Dresden Files like rings a bell, but I'm like, what is it again? Dres Files. I don't think I've read the books for I think it started with books, right? Harry Dresden, was he like before or after Harry Potter? Don't laugh at me, please, because I know like next to nothing about Dresden Files. Oh, really? That's funny. Anyway, I have like so little idea about what a role-playing game would look like that is like not D&D. Except we did do, not last weekend, but like the weekend before, I think. We went to some friends and we did play the, Heroic Antagonist isn't here, but we did play the Witcher RPG thing. That was pretty fun. Definitely a system you need to get used to, though. If you're like super plugged into like D&D. But yeah, is it like moving along, Rick? Which two? Like Witcher and D&D or Fate and D&D? Oh. Was I? Right. Is it easy to learn Fate? Like I found the combat system for like the Witcher thing to be more complicated than D&D. Just because like the whole AC thing worked like a lot differently, and if you hit or don't, and then people can like dodge or roll or evade or block, and like blocking that does like some damage to your armor and whatever. Huh. That might have been a better idea for a one shot then. We were like busy half the afternoon to just be like, how the heck does this fighting work in The Witcher? And then like the evening before, we were like, I suddenly thought, oh wait, we're doing the Witcher thing tomorrow? Who's gonna DM? We hadn't like thought about who was gonna DM. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll do it. I guess I'll just like read this module in bed right now just to see what the story's about. No. They provide a story. And it's a pretty like easy short one too. But I think I spent like the evening bed like reading up on the rules. But it took me a while just because the combat system was so different to D&D. That I couldn't really go through it and be like, oh yeah, I know this. It was like, what? And then I didn't even have time actually to read like through all through all of the story before we actually started. So I like read the first half, and then we went somewhere, and then it was like, crap, what are we supposed to do after this? Hold on, let me look it up. So it was kind of chaos. But anyway, it was fun. And it's kind of like, they always say, you know, like how whenever you DM, your players will start doing something that you don't expect and just like make it go off the rails. And they actually started doing that. It's like, okay, so I'll walk this way, or I'll challenge them to a duel. I was like, what the heck? What do I do with this? This is not in the script. So yeah, that was an experience. But yeah, Fate does sound a lot easier than that. I can totally imagine, like, especially if it's not like a video game where you're kind of like railroaded somewhere anyway, and you could just, you know, you might want to like pick up a barrel, but if they haven't made the interaction available, you're just not able to. So that's like that's basically like an accepted form in video games of like closing off an avenue, so you just can't. But in D&D, or like if you're like playing like a role-playing game at the table, it's kind of like, do you say as a DM, no, you can't do that? No, of course you can't. So you kind of like have to deal with it, which is kind of funny. But yeah, stories like fitting perfectly. I had that with like the chapter titles for Netherrealms. We're still in the prologue, but once because I told you, right, like I wrote this as a movie script, so I didn't have chapter titles yet. So once I started looking for something, I was like, hold on, the 7 stages of grief. And then I like started looking it up, and it just fit perfectly, and I was like, oh, this was meant to be. Oh, that's smart and super helpful. I think GMs will really appreciate that, especially new ones. Good idea, Rick. So hold on. So you're aiming for 2024, like early 2024, or later in the year? Because otherwise, you've got your deadline cut out for you. Aren't they? Is there just like the one group playing Dresden on YouTube, or are there other ones? By the way, hold on. I said this to Yithian as well, but sorry for munching away today. I'm just really, really hungry, so I have like food next to me. Really? Why is that? Is it just because it's so rules light that you need to like really apply your own creativity? Oh yeah. January and February probably. I'm counting on those being light too as well for me. Which is why I'm glad that I'm busy now. Where are you going to put it, Rick? What marketplace? Or do you have like a huge social media account that we have no idea about? Like Roll20 or Drive-Thru RPG. No, Roll20 is probably D&D specific, right? Actually, I'm not sure. No. They do take like a bigger than usual cut. Like it's not like Gumroad where they take like, I don't know, what is it, 10% and then you're done. I think with Drive-Thru and Roll20 there's like a bit more of a bigger cut involved. So keep that in mind. If you care about that. If you just want to like get it out there, then it doesn't really matter, but one of the biggest actions in the game is creating an aspect that's generally intended to give you another advantage in a situation, but it's up to the player to say what that actually is in a narrative sense, like you're going to knock over the cultist here. Right. Oh, right. Okay. So it's okay. So yeah, okay, I get it. And then it's like probably up to the DM to decide whether, or GM, I should say, to decide whether it's actually valuable enough for an advantage. And for them to roll with it, I guess. I think that's so cool about like the Critical Role streams. I mean, it's the only stream I've watched like Dimension 20, but I didn't really like the cotton candy thing that they had going, so I haven't like watched the episodes that they had out. But I really do appreciate like the way the whole group basically can like take something that comes up basically as improv and then run with it. And I kind of tried to do that with like the game that we were playing, because like one aspect was like the characters were, I don't know if you guys have played Witcher, but The Witcher, but eventually they were on a raft and there were like a bunch of drowners attacking them, and like basically like monsters. And my husband at one point said, can I just like roll out of the way to like dodge? And then it said, sorry. It said like you can roll out of the way, but it's going to take you, I don't know, like a couple meters in some direction or something. And then I was like, well, if you roll away, you're on a raft. We were playing with a map, so I wasn't like sure if he was like cornered or not. So I was like, okay, well, I guess we'll like roll a d20 and like there's a 50-50 chance that you roll off the raft into the water, or you roll and like stay on it. And he's like, okay, never mind. But, you know, I was like a little proud of myself of like improvising in that moment and like rolling with what he wanted to do, instead of just saying, you can't do that. yeah, I guess after my one stint at GMing, I kind of like finally realized why all the Critical Role crew were like scared of DMing. You know, when they're like, "Oh, we're gonna do a one shot with Sam Riegel being the dungeon master," and he was like, "Yeah, I guess I hope I don't fuck it up." And I was like, "Geez, what are you afraid of?" But it really is like way more than just being like a referee or something, you know. I know, but he didn't want to do it. They just wanted to, because they didn't know, like, I knew that the module was almost over. They thought, because they had to, like, cross a river, they thought that, like, after crossing the river, there would be, like, way more to the story. So they were, like, saving a lot of their stuff. Plus, I did it in the same way. I'm not sure if that's like an etiquette thing, where like I didn't tell them how far gone the monsters were, like hit points wise. I just said like, okay, this one's like starting to look rough, or this one has like you haven't hit him whatsoever. So they were never sure like how far along they were. Plus, it was pretty hard to actually do damage in the first place because it's not just a matter of like rolling for an attack and then hitting the AC. It was a matter of rolling for an attack and then seeing if the creature could like evade the thing. Or it was evade or like roll or like block with something. And they actually managed to like evade, I think, a lot of damage. So I think at one point they got like nervous, like, we're not hitting these guys, so what are we supposed to do? So he was like, I am not rolling into the water right now, or potentially rolling into the water. The next scene is going to be so much easier. Because there's going to be so much less people to draw. I think this is the get you to music. Or is it? Not one inquiry on the mentorships. I have to say, I, kind of like threw it out there and didn't promote it after that. So, that's, usually not how you like promote a mentorship. The thing is, though, currently I'm like fully booked with commissions, thank goodness, until like early December. So I wouldn't be able to take them on anyway before that time. After that, though, who knows? It's not like I don't know. Some people have like been asking me about it sometimes, or like talking to me about it, like, hey, you would be like a really good mentor. So I decided to like, offer up the option for people, but no takers. Honestly, though, I had this mantra at the beginning of the year: do less but do it well. I kind of feel like I lost sight of that along the year. So I definitely feel like I should kind of like zone back in on that and make sure that I don't like take on too many things, which makes other things fall to the background where they shouldn't be. So yeah, maybe I won't like promote them too much anyway, just to like avoid doing too many things at once. And then if somebody comes along and I have the time, then that'll be nice. But otherwise, like, no biggie, and I'll be like focusing on like the core things of my business. All right, let me take a break for a few minutes because my computer's telling me to. Then I'll see you guys in a few minutes. All right, I'm back. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you don't want to be all over the place, right? Like, it just makes it confusing as well, what you're actually doing. I think it could be a core competency, but I think for me, I think like based on the feedback that I've been getting from other people, but then I'd have to drop something else, I think. Just to be able to like really focus on that and not make it confusing for everybody else. So do you think you'll be able to take your Christmas week off, Rick? Or did you say you didn't take Christmas off and then took like 1 week in like January because that's like quieter? Can't remember. Oh, right. The kitchen floor. How's it going with that? Will you make your Thanksgiving deadline? You're such a busy person. Like 3 personal projects and house projects and work and jeez. The week before the holiday. Hold on. Thanksgiving is... like third week of November. No, 1, 2, 3, fourth week of November or something, right? $11.23. Oh, okay. So 2 more Fridays. All right, so you're almost done. Hopefully. I mean, who cares about molding? Really? No, that's not true. Actually, molding and stuff does make it look nice, but as long as you can use your kitchen, I think nobody will care about the rest. I always hate that about like a move where you have like all these tiny things still unfinished and it makes like the whole house look so not cozy, you know? Okay, question. So there was this thing where I saw a Reddit thread once where people were like, who does not start their Thanksgiving at like 2 p.m.? And I was like, what the hell are these people doing starting their Thanksgiving dinner in the afternoon just after lunch? So my question is, what time do you start your Thanksgiving dinner? What do you do? But that's not dinner! 2 p.m. is not dinner, that's lunch! I'm sitting here with my hands raised above my head like, what is this? Start cooking later, so it's ready at 6 p.m. I just don't get it. Okay, Ethan, what time do you start your Thanksgiving dinner? Also 2 p.m.? Why? We did like Christmas lunch last year at my in-laws, and I have to say I hated it. Just because like we had our like lunch, dinner, whatever, at 2, and then we were kind of like, I don't know, like messing around the whole day, but then, you know, people would get hungry again at like 6, but we wouldn't have a sit down dinner anymore. People would just like be heating up leftovers, and I was like, this is not, you know, like dinner feels so not cozy. Yeah, not gezellig, which is like a Dutch word. But yeah, I did not like the hold on, what's the word? I know the Dutch words. I do not know the English words. Onsamenhangend. English. Yeah. Disjointed. There we go. Like, dinner felt very disjointed. But so, do you guys have, like, another sit down around 6? Or is it like, do you just sit on the couch and somebody else like is like playing, some people are like playing a game and eating some snacks or leftovers while they're playing the game and stuff? Still stuffed. So then do you get hungry again at like 10? No. Moose! Hey, how are you doing? 3 p.m. dinners? Then what do you do at like 7? Or 10? You're up early today. Apple tuna or oatmeal. That's very specific. Those are like your go-to 10 p.m. snacks. So if you were on MTV Cribs, we would find apple tuna or oatmeal. Is oatmeal a fridge thing? I thought that was like a cabinet thing. Oh, okay. So you're eating your breakfast for sorry. So you're eating your breakfast for the next day already. No, because then they're not overnight. I guess I was raised on like sit down dinners too much. Like if I don't have like a sit down dinner to end the day, I feel like I haven't had a complete day. Five batches at it. Well, I mean, I don't like overnight oats in the first place. They're too soggy for me. So I can't imagine having oats that are like 5 nights overnight. All right. Wait. Yeah, but the oats are still the oats still soak up the moisture, right? Like they're not like so the way I like to eat my oats muesli, I guess muesli, is like grab the muesli, put in the yogurt, and then eat it immediately. I guess if for me, for me they are, because I don't even like it when I leave my muesli to sit for like 15 minutes. So I need to like eat them right away. Otherwise, I don't like them anymore. If I like make my breakfast, get distracted, come back, and then try to eat my breakfast, then I won't like it anymore. I'm not sure if it's like, is it raw oats? Hold on. Is muesli the same as oats? Oh, yeah. Raw oats. Well, I mean, I'm not sure if they were like raw or that they're like toasted. Whole grain cereals. You know what? I have no idea. I am confused by what the internet is saying. So I don't know if they're exactly oats. Havermout. I think that would be a Dutch term. Huh, yes. I guess so. Wait, what was it? You mean our look in the mirror and summon moose ritual? Yes. Or you mean the ritual where I say, I'm gonna leave, and then you show up? Because that's why I said you're early. It's not 5 yet where I am, so I haven't said I'm leaving yet. How are you doing? Yeah, it also ended here last week. I think we're like we were like 1 hour less apart last week. And then it because your daylight savings ends a week later than ours, I think. Ish. So we're still just as far apart as we were right now in terms of like time zones. Man, it's taking a long time. This meme is like totally flying over my head. Why is there a dollar bill in front of the nuts? Also, Obviously. Oh, okay. I mean, I don't know how big a dollar bill is. You guys are so American. Sending me size references with dollar bills. And talking about 2 p.m. dinners for Thanksgiving. Gosh. So you all... Oof, that's a lot of nuts. So you guys all have Thanksgiving dinner at 3 p.m. or 2 p.m. I really thought it was an anomaly when I read that post. I guess so. I mean, sure. Okay, so... but so, Moose, do you guys still have like a sit-down dinner? Do you snack do you start snacking at like 2 or 3 and then have a sit-down dinner at 5 and then, not eat for the rest of the day, which would make sense for a Thanksgiving dinner around 5 for me, but... What, at 5? Okay. You took it too far. I believed you up until then. Yeah, see that's just the part that I don't like, that you're not like sitting down together when it's like dark outside, and then afterwards you like clean up and play maybe like one game and then go to bed. Like, that's kind of like how I envision, like Christmas, Thanksgiving, whatever. It's very respectful of you to imitate the turkey's eating procedure. I guess it's weird to me because I've just never done that before. Well, I guess the thing for me is also like, I just cannot eat to a point where I'm not hungry for the rest of the day anymore because my stomach is too small to hold that much food. So it's kind of like, I can only eat to a point where I'm going to be hungry like, I don't know, max 3 or 4 hours later again. So I always wake up hungry. Like, I always wake up craving breakfast. Just because I, however much I ate, that even if I were like stuffed the evening before, it's still gonna be like processed before morning. As soon as you cross the border, your stomach grows. It's like, you have to before being allowed entry in the States. Can you imagine? It's a figure of speech, Moose. Have you decided where you're moving to in Europe yet? Will your stomach like shrink if you like move out of the States? Okay, don't talk about that. Like, please. I realized like last time, like the joke was funny, like talking about porn, but I realized like I don't really want to talk about it like publicly. Like it's fun like in a bar amongst friends and stuff, but I don't want to really. I think women in like an online space have enough of an issue being pushed into in like such a corner already, with the evidence like presenting itself. So like it was funny last time, but I kind of like decided that like I kind of like to discourage it in the stream for here on out, just because I don't want like people to take it too far, I guess. But yeah, people make some crazy requests sometimes. Oh, right, you already said that. Still illy. But still, yeah, I maintain that, you'd really have to deal with the Italians as well. And they're a lot. There's a... I don't know how I'd describe the difference. I think New Yorkers are more... No. I keep wanting to say things like... well, I'm not saying like Italians are nice. I think they're very nice. They're just like a lot. They're like very bombastic people, like Italian New Yorkers, I also really wonder how you would deal with like all their bureaucracy and like I don't know how to call it, like laissez-faire, like, oh sure, we'll get that done like tomorrow because right now I'm enjoying something else. At least they don't have siestas. That's what really threw me off in Spain. That they actually had siestas. And then we'd be, you know, walking around, being like, hey, we're hungry. Let's go and try and find something to eat. And then all the stores would be closed. Midday official naps are weird, but midday official or semi-official dinners are not. Sure, but we were looking for lunch, not dinner. We definitely had a sit-down dinner after. They usually, you know, they have like actual siesta times. I think it's like from 2 to 4:35ish. That stores just close. And it might not, you know, this might not happen in Madrid, but I can't remember where we were. But we were actually walking around like, crap, everything's closed and we're really hungry. And we finished our snacks. Honestly, that is why I hate napping during the day. Just because I'm like, what if I, you know, just sleep and not wake up until like 6 or something? And then you wake up and you're all like disoriented and you feel like the whole day's gone by already and it's only Wednesday, but you're thinking it's Thursday and sucks. I do not like naps. I think that's well, it's not what we did because we're like those kind of vacationers where we like go out and do stuff. Though I think this was like a fairly relaxed vacation where we wouldn't be like traveling around all day, but I think we just took more snacks. Or had like lunch a little earlier. Something like that. Almost done. Unrelated story. You went to the DMV. Oh, right. Okay, that sucks. No! What does that even mean? Certified by Google? Like, actually Google? How do you... I didn't even know they, like, trained... What? So you, like, work in the Google suite as a producer or something? Like Salesforce? This is like a new world to me. I have no idea. Okay, that just sounds fishy. Wow. And they wouldn't tell him either? That's so frustrating. That's so frustrating for them. I don't know if it's a he, but... Just assuming. Oh, he. Okay. So, but is this like certified by Google to be a producer on like any kind of production, or is it like a production, like a producer role inside Google Suite or something? It sounds so weird to me that you can like that Google would... Okay. Let me put it like this. I've never heard anyone, studying at Google. Oh, I'm getting like redirected to like the Dutch version. Huh. I think that might be like another American thing where like people actually recognize Google as a certification provider, I guess. Okay. Man, job hunting sucks. Did they get any feedback? That was the most frustrating thing. Like, I think I got like three or four interviews deep with like a company, and then they just like sent me a rejection, but didn't even tell me like why. They were just like, well, we're moving ahead with someone else. And I replied, and they said, and they, I replied asking like, hey, can you give me some feedback on like, why you went with someone else? And I just never heard back from them. It's like, well, I put in all this time, just at least let me know why. Not in the email. So he contacted them? Wow, that sucks. Hey, that's the thing that's like, I mean, aside from like me just wanting to be a freelancer and stuff, but that's also something that's like holding me back from just switching careers because I'm like, I don't even know how the job hunting will go, you know? What do you mean, Rick? Like, because they're like legally not allowed, or because they can somehow only speak positive things? I think that also might be an American thing. It's definitely not weird here in Europe to like ask for some feedback and actually get some honest feedback on, you know, where you're going, why you're not a good fit for the role, and that kind of stuff. You can't get sued for that here. Unless it's like downright, you know, sexist or discriminatory in some way. I mean, who likes giving bad news? It's just from, you know, from what I've heard from like friends and my parents and stuff, like it's not weird here to ask for some feedback and to actually get it. If you've gone through like if you get rejected in the first round, of course they're not going to give everybody feedback on why they went a different way, because it's just like your portfolio sucks, you know. Deal with it and come up with something better yourself, because that's the work you need to put in. But if you're putting in like multiple hours, and then all of a sudden, because of something like, well, the other person, I don't know, was more focused on art and you were more focused on producing, and so we we need someone who's more focused on art right now. Like, that's feedback that also, it might make the difference between like it being a character flaw and it just not being what they're looking for. It's a very foreign thing to like a lot of Europeans, like how easy it is to sue people in the States. It's so funny also on social media, like as a European, if you complain about something, then it's like, you should sue them. And it's kind of like, I don't have grounds. I can't. Like, I literally can't. The only thing I can do is complain on social media and hope it gets picked up. Or just vent. Because most of the times it's just venting. I think this is like one of the most interesting parts of the stream is just talking with you guys about all the differences between the Europe and the States. Come for the art, stay for the... Well, I wouldn't say political discussion. What kind of discussion is this? Cultural discussion. Come for the art, stay for the cultural differences. Honestly, I can't imagine. Well, I mean, it's kind of like prestigious here too to be like a lawyer, but you can't practice in it. Can you practice in a different state if you've got your like lawyer's degree, license, whatever, in like New York or something? Right. Yeah, so that would make it difficult to move. If you're like, oh, I'm going to move from California to New York, then you'd have to pass the bar again. Yeah, I mean, I definitely get it, like, why it's there, why you'd have to pass the bar again and stuff. It makes sense to me. It's more like, from an employment perspective, you're kind of pinning yourself to the one state. I don't know how often people move states anyway. It's just that for like a small country as we have, I think I've lived in only 2 provinces so far, I think, actually. Yeah, because I moved back to basically my hometown after graduating, which I did not expect. But, some people live all over the place, so. Then again, you can cross our country by car in, I think, 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. So let me check that. Hold on. Groningen. Nah, it's gonna be 4 hours. Go. 3 hours and 33 minutes. Well, it's gonna be 4 hours. So 4 hours by car, you've crossed the country. Having children have been a deterrent to moving states? As in, you don't want to, rip them off from their... I think that's true for a lot of people in Holland as well. Like, people don't really like to move a lot after they have children. I think once people have children, they tend to either, pick their job according to where where they're already living, so the travel time doesn't get too bad. So it's actually prerequisite for applying to a job or not, or they just take the longer. Hey Adam, you're doing a moose, which is I've just finished my thing and I was about to kind of sign off, and then you drop it. Is that it? You did the switcheroo today. Yeah, I was just finishing up a panel. I wanted to finish it up, and then I was in my flow. We were talking about. And the DMs on Discord going okay, you're going early today, right? Then I'm going late. Okay, good. How's your stream, Bea? Are you happy with your Discord launch? I haven't been checking in much because I've been actually like offline a lot. Just like done with social media and just not able to keep up with a lot of stuff. Good. I'm glad. Happy that it's working out for you. Yeah, because I didn't even know you were... I didn't even know you were like doing a Discord thing or something. I was like, why am I suddenly in a Discord? I'll be here, but I don't know what I'm doing here. Why we're here. What's Suika game? That sounds really stressful, by the way. Yeah, I haven't been like in your streams as much, so I didn't hear your plans for like a Discord thing or something. No, I was sorry. I was just like switching between you and Moose really quickly and not explaining myself. Anyway, I'm hungry. Not hungry yet. But I want to prevent that, so I'm gonna like go downstairs and thanks. Yeah, it's like if you look, hold on, let me just show this real quick. Did you see it? Oh man, where is it? I have like, actually I can just show the first page of Netherrealms. The comic. Come on. Go. Like if you look at these inks compared to this like 9-day. I'm not even gonna start that melon game, Moose, because I was just saying to Yithian earlier that like I've been like working and I'm thankfully fully booked for like a month, but that does mean that's really busy. But I'm also doing like a gouache course, so it's like basically I'm working during the day, and then in the evenings I'm doing like the gouache course, and then with the time that I have left, I just want to like watch some Netflix or whatever. Yeah, Justin Donald's course. It's really fun. It's a lot of fun. Can recommend. He's very Bob Rossi. Only encouraging. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna head off. Thanks for joining. Thanks for educating me about more things in the American system today. Oh, you actually like did an interview with him. Oh, I might look that one up. I haven't heard that one yet. Interesting. Okay. I'm going. general feedback? You keep like pulling me back in. Wait. What was the general feedback that killed the motivation to keep doing them? Oh, that people hadn't gotten around to listening. Yeah, okay. I get it. Yeah, it's really I honestly I think it's also a matter of like keeping promoting cuz I feel like a lot of people are like, "Oh, Netherrealms sounds interesting," but then they don't look and then it's even easier because a page, like a comic page, is easier to read than watch a whole podcast. But it's also like a matter of reminding people that it's still there and that you can listen to it still, I think. Yeah, it really is. Like, I mean, I keep imagining myself as, the people that I'm screaming at. And it's like, I have a couple brands or whatever that I really want to be loyal to because I know what they're doing. And I think, like, I really appreciate that. And, I want to know what they're up to. I just don't have time to actually, like, interact with it. Or keep up with, like, all the content that they're bringing out and stuff. And I come back to that if I have the time. Like, in January, I'm predicting that, like, commissions are going to fall flat. I'm going to have, like, more time or whatever to just mess around and, like, catch up on some stuff that got, like, pushed to the back burner with, like, the holiday season and stuff. And if I get a post on my feed or whatever, or, like, in my inbox, like, hey, here are, like, some golden oldies of podcast episodes that you might not have watched yet or listened to yet, then I might be like, oh, this is a good time to actually start watching that. But you gotta have the time and you gotta be prompted at that time to actually listen to it. Otherwise, I'm not going to because I don't have the time. And there's, like, productions with, like, much bigger budgets that actually, managed to grab my attention just because they had more money. And even some big productions, like, I don't even get to because I don't have the time. Anyway. Okay. Now I'm really leaving. And yeah, thanks for joining. Thanks for being here, and bye. No, I'm leaving. Bye.